Neverland. I feel like this one it's like not a palate cleanser, but it's such a different like energy. But it's nice though. I feel like we sat and listened to that and it was just like, like a breather. Talk to me about Neverland.
So Neverland is, it's about never growing up.
Yep.
But it's not never growing up in a Peter Pan sense. It's about staying connected to your inner child and keeping that childlike part of yourself alive. And I think through my own personal growth and watching other people in their journeys, you know, and watching joyful adults, you know, especially later on in life, the ones that I see that I admire the most that seem to have this sense of joy are the ones that have stayed connected to that childlike part of themselves, and that those attributes of like curiosity and joy and wonder and not taking things for granted, and everything's a new experience. And so for me, this is actually a song speaking to myself and my inner child in this relationship that, you know, I've got you and you're by my side, and you know, no matter what changes happen in life, I'm not going to let life make me lose touch with that part of me.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm in tune with that part of myself, life is lighter and nicer, life is more fun.
It's interesting you talk about like staying connected to your inner child. Would you say that it's different for every person? Like, I guess we all kind of grow up, not necessarily blank canvas, but you have that sort of same curiosity. So when you were writing this, were you specifically writing it from your perspective, or do you think like everyone sort of has a similar connection?
I think everyone has that connection. It just depends on the level of awareness they have, and you know, I've done a lot of yoga and meditation and also personal growth work, and for me, you know, there's a lot of healing to have in, you know, a lot of things that we experience as children inform who we become, and some of that is beautiful and some of that is painful. And I think going in and holding those vulnerable parts of the things that we experienced as children, and also on top of that, you know, staying connected to that curiosity, joy and wonder, it's this lovely relationship where it's about self-connection really at the end of the day. And so for me, this is very personal, this song, and it's Take Me to Neverland, that place where I never grow up, because I'm always connected to you.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that, because in my notes I've had the references to travel in there, and the travel is mostly like through sails and all the set seas, and I feel like the energy sonically is kind of like that as well.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Obviously it goes very well with waves rushing and being connected to the sea, and that's why for me it feels personal to you as well.
Yeah, it is. But I think it's a topic which anyone can relate to.
Yes.
And I think the messages in there are things that I would hope other people would find connecting.
When you initially thought of this idea to write this song, what was the conversation like with the producers, your producers?
We were just messing around just before dinner with the guitars. We literally took the guitars everywhere we went, and there was this sort of melody in Neverland, and I think as soon as I heard a bit of the musical side, Rich, he's just so good at the sort of chord structures and shapes, and I remember he was tinkling with something, and I was like, oh, I just hear Neverland. I don't know why those words are coming to me, and then it was sort of just built from there. But in terms of the narrative, you know, you and me watching time changing, could it be something so basic? What are we when we're not dreaming? And all these scattered memories, trying to find the place that we're meant to be. You know, it's this link between who you are now and who you were, and this relationship that has always been there, and that you through time, and then trying to reconnect with that part of you that climbs trees and paints, and it's just really silly.
It's interesting how you've hit this sweet spot of this being like a memory, and then